What's up, everybody? It is Justin Strickland. Shout out to Crew Excellence. Welcome to the Ladder Podcast. I got something fresh off the press for y'all today. What if there was a quote that you were very familiar with, that you've been getting wrong, that we all have been getting wrong? What if there was a quote that because we've been getting wrong, you haven't chased your dreams, you haven't pursued opportunities, that you have limited what's possible in your life because we've been getting one quote wrong? Would you want to know what that quote is? Would you want to know the full quote? Would you want to get it right and see how that can challenge and change your life? Well, that's what we're going to be talking about today on the Ladder Podcast, man. Before we get into that, man, I want to make sure you know why you're here. This podcast exists to develop leaders. We believe at the Hope Institute that you deserve to be the best version of yourself, because when you are the best version of yourself, the world is a better place. And so here we pursue excellence together. We don't settle. We don't give up. We're disciplined, and we're passionately pursuing something better for our entire world. And so if that is you, if that sounds like who you are, you're in the right place. And I thank you so much for being here. Now, what's crazy, only like 90% of y'all that watch aren't subscribed. Hit that button for your boy. You know what I'm saying? It don't hurt you none and it helps me some. So just hit the like button, hit subscribe, share it with somebody because you like the content, you watching it. Go ahead and hit subscribe. 90% unsubscribe is a crazy number. You know what I'm saying? But hey, for the 10%, I appreciate you. All right, let's get into the reason why you stuck around through the intro. That is, you want to know the quote. And this is a quote we've all heard. It is, "A jack of all trades is a master of none." And that's usually how we've heard the quote. And what people tell us this is, they try to get us to niche down. They try to get us to focus, and they try to get us to keep from spreading ourselves thin. And we hear this quote almost as a negative thing for someone who has multiple interests or who has several passions. They'll hear this and someone is encouraging them to pick one, to focus on something, to not try to do everything or try to do multiple things or do several things. And one of the things that I talk about with my wife and some of my friends sometimes, is I look back in the past at some of the men and women and all the different things they would do. And so they call them Renaissance men or Renaissance women, or the new term is polymath. Someone who is excellent in multiple disciplines and multiple areas. And you think about somebody like Leonardo da Vinci, who is an inventor, who is a mathematician, who is one of the most famous painters ever, who was an excellent author and went to church. And so we see men like this throughout history, who are able, and women who are able to hold several titles and several interests at the same time. And one of the reasons is they know the real quote. And the real quote is, "A jack of all trades is a master of none, though often better than a master of one." And so the whole quote reveals something. It reveals that you focusing on one thing may not be the right thing. It may not be what allows you to grow and be the best version of yourself. Think of the biggest stores or the biggest businesses and think about what they do, right? Amazon. What does Amazon do? Everything, right? If Amazon was still just an online bookstore, it would not be the Amazon we know it today. They had to move from focusing on one thing to becoming a jack of all trades. It wasn't narrowing down that allowed their success. It was opening up that allowed their success. And so we, as people, as individuals, we often have several interests. We have family interests. We have personal interests. We have business or social interests. Like, we have several interests that we hold. But a lot of times, because we've heard this quote, we're trying to focus on one thing and allowing something else to suffer. We even when we pursue our passions, we limit ourselves to one of them. And we don't allow ourselves to have full and invested lives. Instead, we do a few things to keep from pursuing other things. We fill our time and our space and our mind with other things to keep us from chasing this jack of all trades. Well, as someone who is a jack of all trades and enjoys it and can't imagine not being it, I want to talk you through how you can become a polymath, how you can become a Renaissance man or woman, how you can hold all your passions together and you can be excellent and chase them and change the world in a multifaceted way. All right, I'm gonna give you 3 keys to becoming a polymath, and I hope that you hang out with me today and you learn them all, because I think when you're fully yourself and fully invested in yourself, you're gonna unlock a new version of what's possible for your life, okay? All right, number 1, you have to have a thirst for knowledge and learning. So when you study the Renaissance men and women of old, they're all just so curious. Almost all of them are philosophers. And all that means is they think about life. They wonder about life. And I love that word, wonder. It's a word that children hold that adults try to let go. But it's one of those things that if you have wonder, if you have curiosity, you allow your brain to fire on a higher level. You allow your brain to be more engaged with your surroundings. Have you ever noticed this? Shout out. This is me and my wife. This has just happened. When you're around, say you're in a restaurant or you're out to, this restaurant's a good one. And the table next to cat a corner, they're having a conversation. Who you think hears the conversation? The person that is curious or the person who doesn't care? I'm gonna tell you right now, it's my wife, okay? Because she nosy. But it's because she's curious. So even being curious amplifies her senses. We're sitting in the same spot. I don't hear a thing. I don't hear anything they're talking about because I don't care. I'm not curious. So being curious, it tells your brain something interesting has happened that we should focus on. All right. Now, if they say a certain word, like if I hear Kobe or if I hear barbecue or travel, like there's certain words that'll trigger my curiosity. Right. But starting with that is a key to becoming multifaceted, to becoming interesting. One of my favorite commercials growing up was the Dos Equis commercial. And why was he so interesting? The most interesting man in the world? Because there were 3 to 5 things that he was doing every commercial that didn't seem to go together, but he was excellent at all of them. It was like, he's the guy who catches the softball with his bare hand. He once told a princess to untie his shoe and gave her a ribbon. And he rides horses backwards through mountains. He is the most, and it was like, this dude is crazy interested. He's able to do all these things because we know that and this is the thing too. Because these people exist, what do we know? It's possible. They have the same amount of time we do. Everybody gets 24 hours in 7 days, right? We all get the same amount of time. And so even if you count it differently, it's the same amount of time. And so you have to be curious. You have to seek learning opportunities. The second thing you can do is search for mentors. So in your thirst for knowledge and training, search for mentors and look for people that can help guide you along certain paths. Because you might be curious about something, but not have the information or wisdom. Find somebody who does, and then finding them, learn from them, and put yourself underneath their tutelage. And that's something that can help you grow in that facet or asset as well. And you can leverage technology for this. Like if you want to learn another language, there's so many different apps and things that can serve as a mentor as you learn a new language, right? And so those are certain things that we can do that you can do when you're thirsty for knowledge and learning, when you're curious about knowledge and learning. Number 2, and this is something that's interesting, is a commitment to religion. And so when you look back at at almost all of the Renaissance men and women of old, they were committed to religion. And I thought this was interesting and important because what a commitment to religion does is it gives you a greater purpose. It gives you a greater purpose. You are connected to something bigger than yourself. You think about things that matter more than your immediate survival in your surroundings. And it's that commitment to something greater that can allow you to tap into more of your life, right? When you know it's not just about you, you're willing to give more. You're willing to do more. You're willing to show up more when it's not only about you. Because a lot of times when it's just about you, you won't do it. For example, think about your health. I've seen a lot of men do this. When their wife gets pregnant, and this is not a one size fit all, because I've seen some people go the other way. But I've seen a lot of men do this. When they find out they're having a baby, they get in the best shape of their life. or they make the most money of their life, or they become the most dedicated at home as they ever been. Because for a lot of them, it's the first time that they've connected their actions to something bigger than themselves. And so when they see, oh, I'm going to be a father, and this happens for mothers too. I'm going to be a father, I'm going to be a mother. Oh, now all this other stuff that just impacted me is going to impact someone else. Oh, shoot, this matters. And that's a commitment to religion gives you that. You don't have to wait till you have a kid. Like, knowing that God created me in his image for good works propels me to do them. Okay? That's what encouraged me and invigorates me to keep going when I'm tired, to keep going when I don't think it's working, to keep going when I'm just want to go home. Like, no, I'm gonna stay in it. I'm gonna show up because it's not just about me. And that's the second thing that commitment religion does. It connects you to a pursuit of excellence over a long stretch of time. I love in Rome, and Paul writes in the New Testament, like, I've run the good race. And you run the race as if one from running for a prize. And it says finish the race. And so there's this connection to excellence over long stretches of time that I'm like, as long as I have breath, I have purpose. And because I have purpose, I should be excellent in what I'm doing. Because the Bible says, do all things as if you're doing them to God, as you should do them to Christ, right? And so I think when you look in history, there's no coincidence that a lot of people that we would consider Renaissance men and women, they have a strong connection to faith, a strong connection to God. And that just allows them, and it will allow you to chase something bigger than just what's in front of you. Okay. And then the last thing, and this is probably the most important thing that you'll need to become a polymath, right? This is time discipline. Time discipline. In the 21st century, our time is attacked more than any other time in human history. There are so many things begging for your time. It is your phone, your iPad, your computer, your TV, your video game system, your Ring camera, your job, it's like never ending. Please look at me. Every social media app, everything is buying and begging for your time. And those people that were Renaissance men and women, they were excruciatingly intentional with their time. And they made sure that every moment that they spent was spent on purpose and spent with intentionality. And so for us, what that can look like is limiting your screen time. My wife does this. She's really good at it. She has a certain amount of time she can spend on each app every day. And she's attempting to limit her screen time, right? So that's one thing you could do. Another thing you could do is just set a time every day in the morning and at night. I don't get on a device before this time. I don't get on a device after this time, right? So it might not be amount of time you spend on it, but it might be the time parameters you use it during, right? And so that's something you can do where you just have to be disciplined with your time and focus more on growth than entertainment. One of the things that I've noticed I've been studying people who are doing very well. And one of the things that I notice is they have an affinity for learning over entertainment. It's not to say they're boring. It's not to say that they don't do anything for fun, but that they seek out everything. They seek out other opportunities before they seek out entertainment. And I think that's important when we talk about discipline with our time. And the second part of that is because they're disciplined with their time, they have intentional leisure. And so this is something that I'm discovering. And I was actually just watching a video today, and he's talking about the poverty cycle. And one of it was we're tired, and because we're tired, we want to pay for convenience, and convenience is more expensive than it used to be. And so us being tired is costing us money, keeping us tired. Okay, it was a cycle. And one other thing that I see is people who are not intentional with their time get accidental leisure. And so what I mean by that is they look up and they're like, oh, I don't got nothing to do. Oh, let me scroll. Oh, I've been waiting to watch the series. Oh, shoot, I got some free time today. Man, I'm I'm about to spend 8 hours on the couch watching this show. And what I mean by accidental leisure is they didn't, it's not because they planned it, right? It's because, and even, this is true even for people who work certain jobs. And what I mean by that is you are told your off days. So you don't plan them. You are told your off day. And a lot of times in your off days, you don't plan. You don't want a plan. You like, whatever happens. And so even you could schedule your leisure on your off day and be like, I'm going to spend 2 hours watching TV. Then I'm going to go to the mall for a little bit, walk around. I'm going to go hang out with a friend. And you could schedule your leisure time, because what happens when you schedule your leisure time is it is more fulfilling, because you're doing the things you want to do as long as you want to do them. And it seems crazy for people who are not intentional with their lives, but for those who are trying, right? Career excellence, shout out to you. For those who are wanting more and know they can produce more, these are the little tweaks, I call them life hacks, that can really change your entire life, okay? And so just think about it. Think about planning your leisure and spending less time in entertainment. It's like, just think about those things and see how they might change your day to day and change what's possible. I tell people, I push back on this all the time. People say I don't have time. I'm like, well, let's look at your life. You did some time doing this, you spent time doing this, you spent time doing this. You do have time. You're just not using the time. And I check myself like this all the time. I check myself like this all the time. When something don't get done or I miss a deadline, I'm like, bro, you didn't use your time properly. And it's humbling and it's convicting, but it's real. And I don't give myself an excuse. I'm like, nope, you had time, and instead of doing it, you played the game with your friend, or you scrolled on Instagram, or you was hanging out, you had time and you didn't take advantage of it. So time discipline allows us to take advantage of the time that we all have. And so I know that you all can achieve multiple things at high levels because I see people doing it, and I know they're not built better than you. They're not built different than you. Like the same God that made them made you. And so I'm encouraging you, if you have several passions, you have multiple ideals floating, that you pursue them, that you create time and space for them to exist. And don't forget, these are the 3 things that you need to do to become a polymath. I'm going to run them off. You go do them. And I can't wait to read about you as the next Da Vinci. Okay. It is. You need to have a thirst for knowledge and learning. That's number 1. Number 2 is you need to have a commitment to a religion, something bigger than you. All right. And then number 3, you need to have time discipline. Don't let your time go without telling it where it's going to go. Okay. All right. I love y'all. I hope y'all hung out for the whole episode. If you did, drop a comment. Which one of those you think is going to be the easiest for you to implement and how you going to change your life today? And until next week, man, hey, I want to say I appreciate y'all getting over 300 subscribers on YouTube, over 1,000 on Instagram. Hey, we just started a TikTok. Link is in the description. Man, I am really enjoying this process, and I got some really dope stuff coming for you guys. So I'm super excited. Moving forward, man, it's up, man. So until next time, appreciate you for hanging out with me. It's always an honor and a privilege. I'm out. Peace.